Welcome back to another video I got for you guys here today. Today I am bringing you guys my 2,000 subscriber question and answer video. Before I get into the video, I definitely have some thanking to do, so thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. That is absurd. That is so many people. Never expected to get to that milestone. I know every YouTuber says that in their, like, you know, milestone videos, but it's true. I'm sure it's true for every other YouTuber as well. I really never expected to have more than like 500 subscribers, but now we're at 2,000 and we're still growing strong, so here's to another 2,000, right? I'll try to make these at like 1,000 subscriber intervals. That would be pretty cool. But also, I need to thank some individual people. I thanked Bangle on Twitter already, but I definitely want to thank him again. I know people think he has, you know, a bit of an attitude, but he really is a nice guy, you know, like, to people he likes, and he just gets a bunch of like dumb comments and stuff. I understand, but he really is a nice guy. He helped me out when he really didn't have to. I never asked him to. I never really reached out that way. I tweeted at him a couple times, showing him players I drafted, all that stuff. He favorited those, retweeted those occasionally. And he just, you know, really did a generous thing and gave me a shout out. I'm always appreciative of that. If you're watching this video, you know, of course, thank you, my man. I thanked you a bunch already. I'm sure you're tired of it. But I figured I should thank you once more. Another person I want to thank is Beard Mobox, because he actually gave me the opportunity to make a video with him. I did a rebuild battle with him. I'm sure most of you guys know that. That was an awesome opportunity. He's such a cool guy as well. I definitely want to make more content with him in the future. Hopefully when Madden 19 comes out, we can knock out another rebuild battle. The last person I want to thank is a person I haven't really mentioned yet, but not the expert. Follows me on Twitter. He also commented on one of my rebuilds saying, like, nice video, your channel is going to blow up. And at that point, I gained like 20 subscribers like that day, so I'm sure he had something to do with it. I just want to thank him for the support as well. It's awesome. Maybe I can make a video with him in the future. That would be absolutely amazing. Or I saw Jerome comment on my video. I would love to make a video with you as well, my man, if you're watching. But thank you to all those people, and now let me actually get into the questions. So I got a ton of questions. I'm just looking on my computer right now. I'm on my video. I'm going to start off with EJ Ponder. It says, what team do you hate? I'm probably going to list a few teams here. So you have the typical, you know, Giants and Cowboys, since I'm an Eagles fan. To be completely honest, I don't hate the Redskins all that much. I feel like this, I don't know, this is kind of mean, but I've never really seen them as, you know, an issue since I became an Eagles fan. They were never really that annoying, right? Their players were never really that feisty from what I can remember. I'm sure I'm missing a couple guys, but with the Cowboys, you always had like Des Bryant starting stuff, and Jason Witten was, you know, he's a great player. He was always just an issue. I feel like the Eagles could never cover him. I mean, not many teams could cover him. You know, Ezekiel Elliott, his whole scandal with his girlfriend or whatever. And then the Giants, I mean, I can't really think of too many scandalous kind of players on the Giants, but if they're the Giants, of course I don't like them. It's just kind of how it works. I'm sure every Giants, every Cowboys fan, every Redskins fan hates the Eagles, I understand. But also, I mean, if you don't hate this team, I mean, if you don't like this team, you probably hate them. I can't stand the Patriots. I'm sure you guys kind of know that. Of course, they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, but the Eagles just got revenge, which is always nice. I mean, they've been winning all the time, and it's kind of annoying. That's kind of hypocritical of me, though, because I am a Yankees fan, and I'm not a bandwagon Yankees fan. I've been a Yankees fan since I was, like, 4 years old, so I've been a fan of that team for a while. It's kind of hypocritical, but I don't like the Patriots. This question comes from Fukefi. Alright. Who do you think makes the Super Bowl next year? So, this is always a rough decision, right? Because last year, I'm sure nobody expected the Saints to play as well as they did. Nobody expected the Rams to play as well as they did. So, you know, the teams that I'm thinking of, there can always be way better teams that just come out of nowhere. These teams can also just play horribly. I think the Saints are going to make it from the NFC. I know I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not even thinking of them. I like to not be overly confident in the Eagles. That's just kind of how I've always been. I usually just don't try to favor them all that much. I don't know, because then when they, I don't know, if they win, it's, you know, even more exciting for me. If they lose, it's like, I expected it anyway. So the Saints, I think, are going to make it from the NFC, and from the AFC, I think the Jaguars are going to make it. I want to see a Jaguars-Saints Super Bowl. You can never count out the Patriots, but like I just mentioned, I just think I'm not picking them because I don't want them to make it again. Sorry, Patriots fans, but you guys won a lot. Like, spread the love in the AFC. This question comes from I Live in Wyoming, and it says, did you ever play football or any other sports? What position did you play, and why are you so awesome? I'll answer the last part first. I have no idea. I guess I'm cool. I'm a cool chap. I don't know. But I never played football. My dad never let me play. He always thought I was going to get injured. But I did play baseball. I played baseball for like 10 years. I never played at like a super competitive level. Like I never played in high school. I don't play in college. I played for like the community. You know, I had like little league kind of seasons. But I played from, I don't know, from when I was like 5 until 16, 17, whenever you couldn't play anymore. I was on a couple all-star teams, you know, it was fun. I was decent. I like to think I was pretty good. I was a pitcher and a first baseman most of the time. I'm left-handed, so I played first base ever since I was like 7 years old. They'd be like, oh, you're left-handed, you're playing first base, doesn't matter if you're good at it or not. I don't know. But I really liked pitching. I loved pitching way more than I liked batting. I wasn't a horrible batter, but I was a much better pitcher, I think. It was just awesome, especially when I moved up to, like, you know, the actual baseball field with like 90 feet bags. You know, I would always pick people off, especially the first season, because no one really knew how to, you know, judge a pickoff move or like take an appropriate lead. So I picked off a ton of people. That was the most fun. Molten Fire 81 asks, how did you become an Eagles fan? So most of it is just because I live in Pennsylvania, so it's either them or the Steelers, really. But also, my mom is a big Eagles fan. My cousin is a huge Eagles fan and a huge Yankees fan, so that's kind of how I got both of those. I also, this is not the question, but I also became a Yankees fan because back when I was like 5 years old, I would watch baseball with my dad all the time, and he was a Mets fan. So the Mets weren't really on TV much, but the Phillies were and the Yankees were. And he didn't like the Phillies because he was a Mets fan, so I always put on the Yankees. So I just kind of kept watching the Yankees, and I grew attached to them. But that's pretty much how I became an Eagles fan, to be honest, too. Like, I watched football with my mom, I watched football with my dad. My dad's a Jets fan, actually, but there weren't too many Jets games on as well, so we always watched the Eagles because of my mom as well. So, yeah, it's just pretty simple. It's nothing crazy. That's just how I became an Eagles fan. Tripical KV asks, or it's not really a question, name your favorite Madden YouTubers besides yourself. So, those top 3 guys I mentioned earlier, I really do enjoy all their content. I'm not just saying that because they help me out. I watch pretty much every video that Beard Mobox makes, every video that Not the Expert makes, and most of Bengals videos, I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch much of his MLB The Show stuff. I love baseball. I love playing baseball. But I don't enjoy watching baseball all that much. I'm a Yankees fan. I haven't watched a Yankees game in such a long time, so I'm not really a true Yankees fan. I don't really boast about how well they're doing because they are doing really well this season. I do have all the updates, but I normally don't watch the games. So to be honest, Bengal, I really just watch his Madden videos because I think they're super entertaining, and the occasional Fortnite videos he uploads. I'm subscribed to his second channel as well, so whenever he plays Fortnite there, I watch. But also, I mean, I watch MMG quite a bit. Not too much anymore. I mean, he uploaded some like messing with Fortnite scammers videos. I watched those recently. I also watched Jerome. I guess I should mention him. I watched a lot of his rebuilds. Watched a lot of his franchise videos. He just does a ton of franchises. It's kind of hard to keep up with, to be honest. At least for me, especially since I'm trying to upload and stuff. Back when I didn't upload, I'd watch every single video he made. He's also a great YouTuber. Also, I should mention, Mr. Hurricane is a great franchise YouTuber. He makes some of the best, you know, franchise videos I've seen. They're like pretty realistic looking. I like his commentary. I feel like he always just knows exactly what to say, and I feel like he never says the same thing again. I feel like whenever I would record like a post-com on a video, I'd keep saying the same phrases over and over again, but he's just super good at not doing that, so his videos are very entertaining. Derpy Derp asks, do you have any pets, or what did you have for dinner yesterday? So I do not have any pets, but my girlfriend actually has a good amount, so I make up for it there. She has a dog, I almost said a cat, she definitely does not have a cat. She has a dog, a bird, a rabbit, and a turtle. I'm always around the dog and the rabbit. Literally, they're like my favorite things. Like, I'm always hanging out with them whenever I'm at her house. And then the second question is, what did you have for dinner yesterday? I had spaghetti and sausage. That was yesterday from the time of me recording that, but I also had that today. And I think I'm going to get this video up tomorrow, so that works for both days, I guess. Oscar Clark asks, who is the best white wide receiver? And who is the best wide receiver excluding Antonio Brown and Julio Jones? So in my opinion, the best white wide receiver is Adam Thielen. That was the first one I thought of when I was reading that question. Jordy Nelson's definitely up there. He is fantastic. He's a great player, but I just think Adam Thielen is a little bit better at this point. Plus, he's younger, which really doesn't matter too much. You know, in real life, like production value, like Tom Brady's still producing like crazy, and he's what, like 42, 41? I hope Jordy Nelson can play well with Derek Carr. I hope he can develop some kind of synergy with him like the one he had with Aaron Rodgers. But I think Adam Thielen is great. I really think he can do well with Kirk Cousins, and I think the Vikings will make it far in the playoffs once again. And for the latter half of that question, there are so many extremely talented receivers when you get past Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. But I think the third best one is DeAndre Hopkins. This is definitely no disrespect to any of the other guys you can think of, like Odell or AJ Green or Michael Thomas or Keenan Allen. Any of those guys, no disrespect to them. I just think DeAndre Hopkins is a little bit better than all of those guys because Hopkins was producing insanely well with Deshaun Watson, and then he also still continued to do well with the slew of quarterbacks they had after Deshaun Watson. I know the season before this one, he really didn't play well, But the season before that, he also had like an all-pro kind of season. I don't know, I think DeAndre Hopkins is super talented. These two questions are kind of like the same question, just a different team. So it says, from Jake Thomas, what do you think the Bucs record is this year, or is going to be this year, I guess? I'm going to say 6-10. The Bucs have a good offense, but I really thought they were going to go like 10-6 last year, and they just didn't. So I'm going to take the safe bet of saying 6-10. I don't dislike the Bucs at all. Shout out to Purple Swordfish, by the way. He's a Bucs fan. I don't know. I like Jameis Winston. I think Jameis Winston is a solid quarterback. He does make some weird mistakes, and he's also penalized for a couple games. Not penalized, suspended for a couple games. They also don't have a fantastic running back. I'm not sure if they drafted one, but I don't think they signed anyone, because they lost Doug Martin. I don't know if they have Charles Sims still. They might. Their wide receiver core is really good, with Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson and Chris Godwin. O.J. Howard is a good tight end. Cameron Brate's still on that team. That offensive line is usable. Their D-line just got really good because they drafted Vita Vea. They also still have Gerald McCoy. Levante David is a stud, but I still think that team is going to go like 6-10. I'm sorry if you're a Bucs fan and that's not what you wanted to hear. But then T. Henson, 89,292 asks, what do you think the Bears' record will be, and how will Trubisky play? So I'm going with a pretty optimistic view on this, I think. I think the Bears are going to go 8-8. I'm not sure if, like, on paper, they're a more talented team than the Buccaneers, but I'm hoping that Trubisky plays well. This kind of leads into the second part. I think Trubisky is going to have a great season. I'm hoping. My cousin is a Bears fan, so I guess I have a little bias, but I'm kind of hoping he has a good season. I don't want to see, like, another really high draft pick flop. I mean, he didn't play terribly this past year. He just didn't have too much help. But I think Jordan Howard is going to have another great year. Allen Robinson's going to stay healthy. He's going to have a good year. Trey Burton's going to show that he can be a #1 tight end. Their offensive line is actually pretty good. I almost said Josh Sitton. He's not on their team anymore. Kyle Long is not bad. Charles Leno played well last season. And then their defense is pretty young and it's talented. Pernell McPhee is actually not on the team anymore. Let me not say that. He's on the Redskins, I think. Leonard Floyd is developing into a good pass rusher. Their cornerbacks aren't horrible. I think they just re-signed Kyle Fuller, right? Because he had a pretty good season. Prince Amukamara is feasible, I think. I think he's still on their team. Adrian Amos is a fantastic young safety. Eddie Jackson had a good season. I think they definitely have a good team. Danny Trevathan isn't bad. Eddie Goldman's not bad. Akeem Hicks is good. I definitely think they can, go like 8-8. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure I've heard some people say they're going to like 9-7, 10-6. I don't think they're quite that good yet. I think Trubisky still needs time to develop a connection between his players. I could be totally wrong though. They could also just go 1-15. Who knows? Littlefoot Raptor asks, what is your favorite team in the NFC and AFC? Also, who is your favorite player on both of those teams? So obviously, my favorite team in the NFC is the Philadelphia Eagles, and my favorite player on that team, I've mentioned it before, he's actually in my YouTube banner. It's Malcolm Jenkins. I started liking him because I thought he was kind of underrated when he came over to the Eagles. I thought he was okay on the Saints as well, but when he came over to the Eagles, I just kind of felt like he kept getting underrated. I thought he was a great safety. I always liked him, so that's why he's my favorite player. And then in the AFC, I guess my favorite team would be the Jets. My dad is a Jets fan, so if I had to root for another team that wasn't the Eagles, it would be the Jets. And as for my favorite player on the Jets, I'm going to go with Leonard Williams. I think Leonard Williams is a great player. He is a super talented young player, out of USC. He's like one of the best defensive players on the Jets team. He probably is the best defensive player on the Jets team. I also really like Avery Williamson. He's a new acquisition, but I wanted to go with, a long time, not really a long time because he's still young, but a Jet that has been on the team the whole time. Noah Smith asks, what do you believe the most underrated position in football is? And my response to this is right tackle. The reason why I think it's right tackle is because left tackle seems to be extremely valued. I understand why. It's the blind spot for a lot of quarterbacks. It makes sense. But there are also some extremely talented left ends that would have to go up against a right tackle. Khalil Mack is a left end, if I am not mistaken. I can't think of anyone else. Brandon Graham, I think, is a left end. Either him or Derek Barnett. One of those guys, they're very good. I think it's Brandon Graham. Pretty sure he plays on that side. So I think it's a pretty underrated position. There aren't many fantastic right tackles. Lane Johnson's probably the best. And honestly, I don't know, DeMar Dotson isn't bad. I can't really think of many other fantastic ones. Marcus Gilbert's pretty good, but I feel like not many teams have great right tackles. I feel like a lot of teams have good left tackles, but they kind of undervalue the position of right tackle. Another position I can think of is like defensive tackle. I feel like that's pretty undervalued because they don't have the most flashy stats, right? Like Damon Harrison. Damon Harrison doesn't have like fantastic looking stats, but if you actually watch film and watch tape, I don't do that, but if you actually watch what he does, he is a menace. He is a fantastic run stopper, and I'm pretty sure very rightfully so. I think he is the highest, rated defensive tackle in Madden 19. I think he definitely deserves it. John Tant asks, what was the first Madden game you ever played? The first one I played was, I actually don't know. The first one I can think about playing was Madden 2005. Is that the one with Donovan McNabb on the cover? So Madden 2005, I think, has McNabb on it. That is the first one I can remember playing, but I know I played NFL 2K4 before I played Madden, and that game, if you guys haven't played that, that is like the best football game to ever come out. Maybe NCAA 2014 might be better, but NFL 2K4 was such a well-rounded game. Its animations, I think, are still better than Madden 18 animations. Like, it was such a well-made game. I wish they made more, but of course, I think EA like bought their rights to all football games or something like that. I don't know. I wish they would come back and make another one. 207 Dave asks, are you in a relationship? I'll answer that quickly. I am. I already mentioned that my girlfriend has a bunch of pets. And he also says, do you think Mayfield really is the most talented quarterback in this past draft? I do think so. I really do think Baker Mayfield was worth the #1 overall pick. But I don't think any other team would have taken him. If I'm being honest, I think the Browns could have gotten away with taking someone else at the #1 overall pick, maybe Saquon. Because let's say the Browns took Saquon, I don't think the Giants would have selected, Baker Mayfield. They may have, I heard, them potentially going after like Sam Darnold or something. The Jets may have swooped in and taken him. I don't know, but they also wanted a corner, so who knows. I don't think they needed to take him at #1, but I definitely think he deserves it. He is, I think, the best quarterback in this most recent draft. He is extremely accurate. He's agile. He has good throw power. I think he's a really good combination of the other guys. I mean, Josh Allen can throw the ball a mile, and that's who this guy thinks. I'm assuming since he put after Allen and Rosen, I'm guessing he thinks Allen is the best. I don't think Allen is the best. I think Allen was the worst quarterback taken in the first round. That's just my opinion. He can throw the ball a mile, like I just said, but he can't hit anything. And then Rosen is good. He's good short. He is, I think, pretty average throw power. He's not bad at all. I would rank him like second. My man Ninja Cheese asks me, what ideas do you have for Madden 19 series? So I'm not going to spoil anything too much. All I'm going to say is that I'm definitely doing a connected franchise with a team. I'm not going to say if it's a fantasy draft or if it's a normal franchise yet or anything else. And I'm also going to be doing a career mode. I'm not going to say who it's going to be. That's all I'm going to mention on the matter. Coker Pepsi 87 asks me, are you still in college? If so, what's your major? If you aren't, what do you do for a living? So I am still in college. I'm not going to say exactly where I go yet. It's a very popular school. You guys can try to guess if you want. I don't know. But the second part of this question, my major is mathematics. It's actually like systems analysis, I think is what it's called. Pretty much once you get into the mathematics major, you can switch between a whole bunch of majors pretty easily. So I just chose this one because I had, all the classes for it and the credits and stuff. So yeah, there we go. I like this question. TTM Autograph Central asks, favorite episode of The Office. So The Office is a fantastic show. It's like my second favorite show of all time. Maybe my first. I don't know. Scrubs is very good too. But my favorite episode of The Office, I think it's a tie. I can think of two that I really, really enjoy watching. I feel like I can watch these just over and over and over again and I won't get tired of them. The Booze Cruise episode was the first one I thought of, so maybe that one just is my best. I think it's in Season 2. Season 2 is my favorite season, so of course I'm biased towards that one. And the safety training episode. The safety training episode probably has like the best scene from any show or any movie in the entire, realm of movies and shows. It's just such a good episode. I don't want to spoil anything about either of those, but those are two very good episodes. Horsey McHorseface says, if you can choose any position in football, then what would it be and which position would you be best at? Also, are you going to do a face reveal? Not sure about the face reveal part. Maybe at some point, but the other part of the question, I'm just going to try to answer just the latter half because I think there might be the same answer. So, if I were to have played when, I wanted to, if my dad let me play, I think I would have wanted to be a wide receiver. I've always thought I could, catch decently well. I can also throw kind of far because I was a pitcher, right? So I can throw kind of hard, I can throw kind of far. But I feel like I always wanted to be a wide receiver. I feel like it would just be fun to catch touchdown passes rather than throw them. But obviously I haven't played either. I feel like cornerback would be fun too, but I'm not very fast or like agile or anything. I mean, then that wouldn't really work for wide receiver either. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking that if I had played football for a while, I would have miraculously gotten faster and more agile. I don't know, but I always wanted to be a wide receiver. This question comes from Shreyas Iyer. He asks, who would you rather take, Andrew Luck or Allen Robinson? Iyer would rather have Robinson because if you had a 75 overall quarterback, you would become better because of Robinson. That does make some sense, but I would take Andrew Luck, I think, over Allen Robinson. I really like Allen Robinson. I think he's a great wide receiver, but I feel like Andrew Luck is so underrated. He didn't play this past year, but I would still rank him in the top 5 for quarterbacks. He is that good. If you saw what the Colts did without him, what, they won like 3-13, 2-4, I'm not sure how many games they won. It wasn't many, But then when they had Luck, they didn't even have that much different of a team. It's not like they have a much worse team now than they did with Luck. With him, they were like a contender in the AFC. They made it to the playoffs pretty consistently with Luck. I think because of that, I would take Andrew Luck over Allen Robinson. They both kind of have injury concerns. From what I've heard, he's a fantastic teammate. He's just a really nice guy. I would definitely take Andrew Luck over Allen Robinson if I were making, a franchise today. Nick Trouble here asks, who would you select between Julio Jones or Antonio Brown? I can't remember if I answered this in my 1,000 subscriber question and answer, but I'm going to answer it here again. But before I do, Alex Ivanov comments on this comment and says Cooper Kupp. I'm about that. Cooper Kupp is way better than both of those guys. And then the Jet says definitely Antonio Brown. More normal answer. And then Mitchell Sackett responds with Cooper Kupp for sure. I think I have to go with that. Cooper Kupp, obviously. Now, but for real, I think I would take Julio Jones, right? I think that's the more unpopular opinion. It's not that, like, Julio Jones is that much better of a receiver than Antonio Brown. I just like Julio Jones' frame. He's like 6'3". He's faster than Antonio Brown in a straight line. Antonio might be able to, like, cut better and be more agile and be, like, quicker. But Julio can still do all of that very, very well. They have, like, similar hands. They can both catch super well. They hardly drop anything. I mean, Julio did drop a wide open touchdown last year, whatever. But I think Julio is, my choice. He's taller, like I said. He's faster. He's probably stronger just because of how big he is. He has a ridiculous catch radius. He's impossible to cover just like one-on-one. If you have like a really big-bodied corner who's kind of fast, Antonio Brown, you can probably try to cover him, and be somewhat successful. Obviously, it'd still get open because of his, elite route running skills. But Julio is just ridiculous to cover one-on-one. It's almost impossible. You saw what happened when Malcolm Butler tried to cover him on a fade. It just wasn't even fair. And Malcolm Butler is a very good cornerback as well. So, like, it's not fair. I think I would take Julio. The last question here is from Jackson Scott. And it's, who is your favorite subscriber? So this is kind of a rough question, right? Because I love all of you guys. Obviously, like, I'm so appreciative of every one of you, especially if you don't even like comment or like my stuff or really watch. If you're subscribed, that's just cool enough to me. But I have to pick someone, right? So the first person I thought of when I read this comment was Derpy Derp. I don't know if he is like my longest active subscriber, but I remember him before anyone else. Right? So you guys could totally have been subscribed to me for a while and have commented for a while, but there's been a few people who have taken a decent amount of breaks in there, which I'm definitely not. This isn't anything bad about you. That's fine. Do you. I don't care. This isn't like bashing on you guys. But Derpy Derp, I think, has commented on every single one of my videos since he has started watching my channel, and I am super appreciative of that. There may be some of you guys who have watched every one of my videos, have liked every single one, but I just didn't recognize you because you didn't comment, which is, again, do you. You don't have to comment. I don't really care all that much. But I really do appreciate everyone, but I just had to pick somebody. So Derpy Derp is my choice, but there are many guys up there, and girls maybe. There's a bunch of people up there who I definitely have seen a lot in my comment section. I recognize you just by, your YouTube name. I expect to get a comment from you pretty much every video. But I don't want to list you guys because I feel like I'll forget someone and I'll make them feel bad. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That is going to conclude this Q&A. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you're not too upset that I did not choose you as my favorite subscriber. Hope you guys understand, though. I mean, I had to pick one, and there's 2,000 of you guys now, right? So I just chose the one that I see the most in the comments. I'm sorry again, but thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.